Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
Well, there were a number of you up late last night. When I heard noises in the castle about 2 or 2:30, and I got up and I stepped to the bedroom door, and I didn't come down, but I heard a bunch of people still talking. But I also heard before that there was a heated discussion in the drawing room last night after I departed, and unfortunately the movie makers didn't tape it because it would have been interesting, I'm sure. Huh?
It would have been a war with it.
But what was the gist of the discussion?
I think Robert's probably the most objective person to answer that.
I'm not so sure about that, but I'll go ahead. I have more direct interface with him, so I'm not so sure. What was the upshot of it, or the gist, or whatever the right word is?
I think Chip wanted to have a discussion.
Chip
with us, yes.
Ah, okay. It becomes more clear already.
I told Chip to fuck off, and he didn't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you instigated it, or he instigated it?
No,
and you followed up.
we were having a very nice discussion, Robert.
Who's we? Oh, you two.
Robert and I. We had a very, very good discussion. Probably one of the best ones I had in a long time. And he just kept putting his little fucking comments in.
Chip.
Yeah. So I told him to go fuck himself. Again and again and again. And he wouldn't go away. So
And were you all there, or just?
I tried to get in a step onto the rug and deal with it, and he still didn't want to.
That was
and he
the
was
second
just.
argument.
That was the second
Oh,
argument.
that was a. Oh, I don't remember.
Oh, yeah,
the-
it was
What was the first one?
The first one you threatened to throw him out the window, and that's when he left.
Ah.
Maybe you should have.
And then he came back.
Yeah, then he came back, and then you guys got into it again.
Anyway, he got a good exorcism last night until 3:30 in the morning.
Well, when I woke up, it was about 2-ish, and I could hear it, and I said, "Nah, I went back to bed." I didn't hear any furniture breaking or anything. So. But we have had furniture break before. As a matter of fact, a friend of Chip's, now that I think about it, an American guy, who drunk fell down into one of the antique tables, and then it went flat, and I asked
He hit it.
Megan, where's the table? And there was a little piece of the table left under the chair, and he had hidden it in his closet,
No.
in his room, thinking we wouldn't miss it.
Who was that? Steve? No.
No,
Sean.
Sean.
Yeah.
Yeah, Sean. Yeah, you remember Sean. And he's more or less, even though he's an American, he's a pig fucker. But he's a buddy of Chip's now.
Is he?
Yeah, he's a buddy of Chip's now. But yeah, I heard a lot of noise, and not everybody got down to breakfast. So I assumed it's because they were all up very late. But in the old days, when we drank at lunch, and more than one night, we'd see, not just the graduation night, we'd see the sun come up in the snooker room. And maybe that's when men were men and women were women. And even though a guy got humped over the snooker table, I might add they were Englishmen. One Englishman humping another Englishman over the snooker table. And I saw it with my own eyes. It's not like it's rumor from the Bishop of St. Andrews from 1629. I saw it with my own eyes.
How long did you watch for?
About 2 seconds, and then I went down behind the bar where I had apparently passed out or were taken to sleep. And then by the time I came back up again, they were gone. And then this was about 4 or 5 in the morning. And then that morning at breakfast, they were not there. They had they got a cab and they had disappeared into the mist, so to speak. But now, I mean, they don't drink. I'm hoping they're absorbing more information, but I have a feeling they're absorbing less information, really. But yeah, we used to have some real wild times here during the seminar. But I guess now the young kids like Usman, they're trying to save the world, don't engage in shit like that. And so the younger generation are ostensibly, not ostensibly, the ones that believe in global warming. And of course we have some old tree huggers here too, not just the young ones. But it doesn't surprise me. It doesn't surprise me that Chip's not here either. Anybody try to wait? There he is. He's a little late. But today, Klaus Kleinfeld gets here later, and we've just been making arrangements to pick him up at the airport, and then deposit him at an airport when he flies out. And so when his plane arrives, I will be notified, and then when he's almost here from the airport, I will go back to the castle and I will collect him, and then I will bring him here so we'll get a break whenever that is. But we're assuming it's going to be about what, Megan?
About 4 o'clock.
About 4-ish. So that's more or less when we take a break anyway. And then he'll come in here and he'll address you for a few minutes. And then I assume he'll answer questions, if you have them, of him. And we'll stay here till about 6 or 6:30-ish. And then we will go back to the castle, and then I'll spend some time with him. And while you guys get ready, put it on your kilts and fine attire. And then we'll have graduation rehearsal, not her rehearsal, the actual graduation. And then the dinner, and then, you know, I'm sure Klaus will say some more words. And you'll have to be able to spend time with him. I don't know if he drinks anymore, but anyway, he'll be there. But he's been here before. For the rest of this day, we're going to have a few role plays. We're going to go through what I call my financial follies section, and then the pre-close and the close, and exit before we do the pre-close and the conclusion. Because you can do all this stuff, and if you don't exit, if you don't sell something to somebody, you're wasting your time. That's not true. You're not wasting your time, but you're not following the plan. Because the plan is, as I've pounded on my chest several times, the reason why 95% of businesses that go up for sale at the end of the year, whether it's in the UK or any place, don't sell is because they're trying to get too much money for them, because they haven't made money for the 5, 10, 20, 30 years that they've been in business, and they're trying to get rich in one transaction. People don't get wealthy in one transaction very often, other than like Mark Zuckerberg. He got wealthy. But actually, he was wealthy before that, because Facebook was worth quite a bit of money even before he went public, because he had sold through private placements apparently hundreds of millions and even billions worth of shares. And I know some of you in this room aspire to be Mark Zuckerberg and hitting a home run or a grand slam. But you got to plan that if you're not Mark Zuckerberg, you want to take money out along the line. And that means exit. And we're going to talk about exit strategy and how you clean up your baby and you exit it. Are there any questions before we get going? Tomorrow you're exiting the estate, and Megan has already, I guess, or somebody here has already questioned you how you're going to leave, cabs, when they get here, etc., but we don't have to focus on that right now. Okay.
I've got a question.
Sure.
About, the professionals, like...
Not like the ones in this room, you mean real professionals. Okay.
Price Waterhouse or
Correct.
those type of people. Is there any downside to contacting several branches of Price Waterhouse? So let's say
No.
you go to America and you speak to the Price
Correct.
Waterhouse in the
Correct.
States.
Or you can go to Glasgow. We used to go to Edinburgh, Glasgow, Manchester, London, Frankfurt, and talk to partners in all those places. It does make a difference if you're a German, you're a GmbH. I mean, even though you can talk to a guy in London, I mean, it's going to be a German partner. And I emphasize the word partner. Your engagement person at these firms should be a partner.
What's GmbH?
GmbH stands for what?
It's a limited.
It's a limited company, yeah. But what does it stand for?
Gesellschaft mit beschränkter Haftung. So it's a company with limited liability.
Yeah. It's like a limited liability company.
And you have to put in 25,000 euro So this is the at least amount.
But that sounded very much like Goering in the bunker in March or April of '45. But you know, whatever country you're in, you're going to want the engagement person to be from that country. You may have a contact, and if you have a contact in another country, then you use that contact to get your guy in Germany or Netherlands or wherever, or Canada or wherever the hell it is. But I emphasize that the engagement person should be a partner. The partner will only come once in a while to these meetings, and he will have a senior manager, which will be the engagement manager, will do most of the work, and then they'll have juniors doing the grunt work, etc., for due diligence, etc. I've gotten some interesting emails, reference YouTube, and that my Dan the Money Man, which I will wear later. Of course, I have my braces, I have my money braces on today, dollar signs. I also have them pound. And the first couple days I wore a tie that had a frog on it, because I always want to remind myself, and even me, who does this all the time, has been doing this for 40 years, it's a numbers game and it's kissing frogs. And the more frogs you kiss, the more princes, as the fable story says, you'll get. No matter how considerate you might be, or how human resource orientated you might be, which I certainly not, and I don't think many of you in this room are, but you got to kiss a lot of frogs. Okay. Any other questions before we get going? Okay.